Banff looks like a painting that got tired of sitting quietly in a frame and decided to flex in 3D. It's a town ringed by mountains that behave like main characters, a place where the sky is either a laser show or a light therapy lamp, and the streets smell faintly of espresso and wood smoke. And yes, it's inside a national park, which means it's not just pretty, it's protected, intentional, and a little bit mythical. I'm going to give you the real stuff: what to do, where to eat, where to sleep. Skipping the top 10 Instagram spots energy and sliding into the good weird, the gorgeous quiet, and the absolutely say yes bites and sips that make this place stick in your memory like snow on knit gloves. If you're new here, tap like, smash subscribe. Gently, we're civilized. And remember, all the specific recommendations are listed in the description, so you can add the ones you vibe with straight into your itinerary without doom scrolling through your notes app at midnight. Before we start, get one thing straight. Banff is small, lived in, and full of people who actually work here. That gives it an uncommon backbone for a destination this photogenic. The lifties, the bakers, the bartenders, they're not set dressing. They're half the story. And winter? Winter is the plot twist. It's quieter than summer. The light turns mountains into sculptures, and the cold makes every good drink taste better. I've had a few trips where I felt like I got adopted by the town for a weekend. And that's the energy I want for you. Let's talk about the part where your jaw detaches. The things you can actually do. You know that gondola you've seen in thumbnails? The Banff gondola isn't just a ride, it's a cheat code. 8 minutes up Sulphur Mountain and boom, your camera thinks you moved to a higher tax bracket. In winter, when the shadows grow long and the town lights blink on, the night rise experience kicks in. Soundscapes and shimmering visuals threaded with stories from the Stony Nakota people. It's not just pretty lights. It's a way to be in the mountain without touching a ski edge. The boardwalk at the top walks you along a spine of views to a place with the very sci-fi name of the Cosmic Ray Station. I walked it one night with the wind combing the snow into ripples and thought, if the northern lights show up right now, I'm going to cry in this balaclava. They did. I did. Worth it. Now, if sliding on snow is your love language, you get 3 dialects. Banff Sunshine is the big personality. A gondola to a mid-mountain village. Huge bowls, spicy lines that ask you politely to know what you're doing. And the kind of spring season that wanders well into May. I like to warm up on groomers off lookout, and then pretend I'm a braver person than I am, peeking over anything with a cornice. Lake Louise is the cinematic cousin. Massive, with back bowls that feel like the world forgot to put up walls. There's a heated bubble chair now that turns wind into a cute rumor and makes lapping the good stuff way less masochistic. Mount Norquay is the classic. Smaller, steeper than you expect. 5 minutes from town. And the night skiing gives everything a retro, neon-on-snow mood. I once rode a T-bar there with a local who gave me an unsolicited pep talk like I was about to audition for the national team. Banff has a way of doing that, convincing you to go one run more and then handing you soup. If your idea of winter involves quiet feet and big eyes, take yourself to Johnston Canyon. It's a low-effort, high-reward walk on catwalks and paths carved into rock, with frozen waterfalls that look like organ pipes and glass. Wear micro spikes, bring a thermos, and try not to compare your photos to the guy with the tripod and the lens the size of a baguette. Later, go to Lake Minnewanka at night and let the stars yank your heart out of your chest. On Aurora nights, the locals drift out in puffers and blankets, and you'll hear people whisper, "Did you see that?" Like they just watched a magician swallow a sword. There's also the White Museum, which does a neat job of explaining how this place got inside everyone's head. There's art, old gear, maps that look hand-forged by stubborn people, and displays that don't dodge the messy parts. The displacement of indigenous communities, the building of the railroad with dynamite, and decisions that would not pass a modern HR department. It's not homework, it's context. And context makes the view land deeper. If your joints are politely requesting softness after all that nature, Banff Upper Hot Springs is a ritual, not a trend. It's been a thing since the 1800s, and the current bathhouse feels like a postage stamp from 1932. The water is hot enough to unkink your spine, and the view is rude in the best way. I did the retro swimsuit rental because I like a theme. and I swear it made my posture better. You'll see grandparents, snowboarders, toddlers, and little floaties, every species of tired, staring at the same mountains, steam curling off shoulders, the air crisp enough to taste. On the days when the wind is bullying your cheekbones or you want to take a break from epic, there are quieter moves. Vermilion Lakes freezes into a shiny mood ring where you can skate on wild ice if conditions are right. Ask a local about thickness before you pretend you're starring in an Olympic short program. If it's a slushy week, there's always a rink somewhere in town and usually a pickup game you can spectate with a coffee. Speaking of coffee, your day here should be bracketed by good flour and better caffeine. You'll hear Wildflower Bakery before you see it. Murmur of people, clang of plates, pianissimo of butter. Their breakfast sandwich is a small architecture project. Eggs, cheddar, pepper, tomato jam, sourdough doing heavy structural work. I always tell myself I'm just getting the sandwich, and then the pastries look at me like rescue puppies. The maple twist is funny until you're on a chairlift and realize you've become the person everyone's staring at because you're wielding a pastry the size of a frisbee. Over at White Bark Cafe in the Banff Aspen Lodge, the coffee drinks are clean and sharp, and the scones are savory in a way that makes you feel like you won a contest. Ask them to warm the apple cheddar bacon situation and sit by the window to watch Mount Rundle lean in like a geometry problem. All right, you wanted specifics on where to eat beyond the morning car parade. Banff is better at food than people give it credit for, and the newer wave proves it. The Fat Ox is a northern Italian joint that feels like date night accidentally invited the entire ski school. It's loud, warm, and the tagliatelle with bison bolognese is exactly the intersection I didn't know I needed. Cornmeal fries sound like a dare, but they're crunchy little obsessions. I once split the Alberta ribeye with a friend, and we briefly considered writing it a thank you card. If you've still got room for fancy after a day in Woolsocks, the Rundle Bar inside the Fairmont Banff Springs is your velvet chair moment. Picture a castle built by a railroad baron trying to impress a mountain. Order the Ember, an old-fashioned with smoky Lapsang tea swagger, and stare into the fireplace like it's telling you a secret. Then flip the vibe. Rose and Crown is where the hockey game hums in the corner. The band starts at 10. The pool cues have seen things. And strangers buy each other pints because they were both on the same chairlift earlier, and now they're best friends until last call. If you're skiing Lake Louise, plant yourself at Whitehorn Bistro mid-mountain. That cheese fondue with glacier views is a villain origin story for any future dairy intolerance. At Sunshine, Mad Trappers lives inside a log building with enough history on the walls to qualify as a museum for people who prefer their artifacts fried. The poutine is exactly what you think it is. Gravity food. Back in town, Block Kitchen and Bar is where flavors go to make out. It's tiny, you will wait, and you'll meet your table neighbors whether you mean to or not. I like the bao with beef rib and house kimchi because you can hold it with one hand while using the other to struggle with your feelings. The mushroom risotto in Thai curry is the dish I think about when a forecast says wind chill. The cocktails are not shy. The open sesame, rye washed with sesame oil, prosecco, shiso bitters, tastes like a brilliant mistake someone decided to keep, and I respect that. Ramen Arashi is on the second floor of a little mall where the stairwell makes you question your life choices, and then the black Arashi ramen hits the table steaming, and all your doubts go find someone else to bother. The broth is a void you want to live in. I sat elbow to elbow here with a couple who came off a 3-day ski bender, and the only sentence we all agreed on was holy, followed by slurping that could be used as Foley in a movie. If you're building a full food roster, sprinkle in Park Distillery for wood-fired things and house spirits, Nourish Bistro for kaleidoscopic vegetarian plates that don't punish you for your choices, the Bison when you want to feel like you're at a mountain wedding reception without dancing, and a quick stop at Jolene's Tea House or Banff Tea Co. When you need to bring back something small and fragrant that proves you were here. I once bought a maple rooibos for a friend and somehow kept it for myself, which is an endorsement and a confession. Now let's talk about sleeping, because your pillow matters, especially when your quadriceps are filing HR complaints. If you want to be the main character in a winter fairy tale, The Fairmont Banff Springs is the castle. It's a splurge, but you're not just getting a room, you're buying a story. There's a spa, a bowling alley, restaurants for every mood, and hallways that conspire to make you wander. I've stayed once and felt like I should write a novel I'll never finish. Up the highway, the Fairmont Chateau Lake Louise sits on the shore like it has the deed to the lake. Winter mornings there are aggressive in their beauty. You open the curtains and there's the world, iced and available. If you can swing a night, do it. For smart fun without the royal tax, the Moxie Banff brings retro swagger. There's literally a VW bus in the lobby. And rooms that feel modern without pretending they're not for sleeping. It's playful, social, and won't make your credit card cry uncle. The Juniper Hotel sits on a hillside near Norquay and points itself at a view like a satellite dish for sunsets. The rooms are big, the vibe is unfussy, and the bistro pulls above its weight class. If you want to wake up at elevation, Sunshine Mountain Lodge is a different kind of flex. Ski in, ski out. Mid-mountain silence at night when the world turns off and the snowcats start to hum. I've had a late-night hot tub there where the stars felt illegally close. Other reliable keys to the park include Moose Hotel and Suites with rooftop hot pools that feel like someone correctly understood your personality, Canalta Lodge with a modern rustic thing and a courtyard of fire pits that attract stories, the Rimrock if you like a grand hotel vibe without full castle theatrics, and the Mount Royal smack in the middle of the action if your idea of a commute is 3 blocks to brunch. Budget travelers. The HI Banff Alpine Center is an honest base camp with big trip energy and the chance to hear a dozen accents talk about tomorrow's snow. Because this channel is about actually going and not just watching videos while eating cereal, let's stack some practical bricks. Banff is inside a national park, so buy the Parks Canada Pass ahead of time or when you enter. It's cheaper than a lift ticket and funds the trails and the toilets you're going to appreciate. The town runs on ROAM buses that are clean, not confusing, and hit the essentials with seasonal shuttles to the ski hills and Lake Louise. They're not subway frequent, so check the schedule while you're still in Wi-Fi, but the drivers are helpful and the views out the window are free. If you're driving, winter tires are not a suggestion. Black ice is sneaky and the wildlife is unionized. The elk cross when they feel like it. There's paid parking downtown, read the signs unless you enjoy plot twists. Gear rental is easy. Shops all over town can set you up with skis, boards, snowshoes, skates, and even the little things like micro spikes for Johnston Canyon. If you're going near avalanche terrain, rent the kit and know how to use it or go with a guide. Full stop. Layer up with real insulation, not vibes. You can thrift the look once you get home. Hand warmers are little miracles and weigh nothing. A thermos is social currency. Also, humidity is low in winter, so your skin will try to turn into parchment. Bring the nice moisturizer and lip balm unless you want to cosplay as a cracked statue. A quick word about expectations. Summer gets the postcards, winter gets the poetry. The light at 3 p.m. is cinematic. The streets go quiet in a way that feels like the universe turning the volume knob down a half click. You hear your boots, you smell the pines, you notice your breath leaving your mouth like a tiny cloud that did its best. Weather will swing from gentle snow globe to why does my phone say minus everything? That's part of the deal. Embrace the slower pace and the long conversations. Some of the best nights here are board games and lounge chairs, not lines at a club. For the culture collectors, the gallery run on Bear Street and nearby knocks you out of souvenir mode and into something more permanent. Canada House and Willock and Saks show work that leans on landscape without turning it into cliché. The Carter Ryan Gallery spotlights Jason Carter's bold, joyful forms, color that hits the wall like a sunrise. Brandon T. Brown's wildlife photos are so intimate when it's time to leave, you'll do the thing we all do. Stare out of the shuttle or windshield at Mount Rundle, or Cascade and promise you'll be back. Banff is a repeat place. It's also a first-timer's dream because it doesn't make you work for the payoff. You ride, you look, you eat, you soak, you sleep, you grin, and you do it again in a different order. I've lost count of how many times I've come, but I can point to specific table corners and trail bends and bar stools where I sat and thought, oh right, this is how I want to feel. If this helped you plan your version of that feeling, do the internet kindnesses. Like the video So the Mountain Goblins running the algorithm, know we're worth showing to other people. Hit subscribe if you want more places like this, explained in sentences that turn left and then stick the landing, and ring the bell if you like your travel inspiration delivered hot. Most importantly, the video description has every specific recommendation with names you can actually Google, so you can copy-paste the ones you want into your plans. We keep the list tight on purpose. You don't need 30 restaurants to have a great trip. You need 2 good breakfasts, 1 ridiculous lunch, 2 standout dinners, a bar that becomes your bar for the night, and a bed that forgives your day. Banff will handle the rest. If that sounds like your kind of weekend, weekday, or entire personality for a month, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment your favorite corner of Banff or the one recommendation you think I missed so I can go back and fix my life. And then open the description, grab the names and places, and start making the map you actually want to follow. I'll see you up there, on a boardwalk under slow blue light at the top of Sulphur, or in a booth with a bowl of ramen that keeps fogging the lens, or skating on a piece of lake so clear you'll swear you're flying. Pack warm, tip well, keep your eyes open. This place rewards that.